Ladies and gentlemen, the Switch 2 has been out for quite a while, or at least like a little over half a year. I made it sound like it's been out for years. And I keep asking myself, what is going on with one certain franchise? And I don't want to sound like everything is doom and gloom, but I do think there is a big problem with Super Mario on the Switch 2, or maybe even the lack of Super Mario. And that's what I want to talk about today, to see what's kind of going on there, how this can be fixed, compare it to, I guess, maybe some stuff on the Switch. Let's try to find out if it's actually possible to fix this problem. Let's go and get right into this video. So obviously whenever I'm making videos, I don't like focus on what I'm wearing. If you've never watched my videos before and you've seen my outfit, I'm wearing a PlayStation hat and an Astrobot shirt, you might think, does this guy even like Nintendo? Is this the guy that is qualified to talk about Super Mario? Maybe, maybe not, but we're gonna try to figure that out. I don't want to sound like I don't like the Switch 2 and you can't play Mario games on the console, but I do think there is a true, real issue of the lack of Super Mario on the Switch 2, and I do think it is hurting sales, even though it's breaking records. And I do think it's gonna cause something that we're gonna look back on negatively when there was so much potential. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. We're like 38 subscribers away from 27,000. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep these communities growing. And let's just go ahead and get into this one. First, let's look at all the new Mario or Super Mario games that we have on the Switch 2. We launched with Mario Kart World. Is this a bad game? I think objectively we can say no. Does it have an impact on the Switch 2? Again, I want to say no. I know a lot of people bought this game in a bundle because that was a smart choice, and I think it is almost the perfect game to include in a bundle. The game was fun for about 6 hours for me, and I know there's people who have hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game, play it online, have found so many things to do, and you're on the side who's really enjoying this, and that's great. After 6 hours, I felt like I understand what's going on here. It doesn't have enough for me to sink a bunch of time into it. So, you know, it's not a big deal. In a couple months, or maybe in 6 months or whatever, Nintendo will release some DLC, new characters, new courses, something, and I'll be good to go. So I started waiting, and waiting a little bit more. A couple of directs happened that I said, you know what, it's all good. We have Mario's anniversary coming up. They'll definitely announce something there. Yeah, so I'm recording this video on February 23rd, and at the time of recording, nothing happening. This is easily one of the biggest missed opportunities for Super Mario on the Switch 2, and I don't understand what it takes to run Nintendo. I don't understand what it takes to make video games, DLC, whatever. I also don't understand what the hell they're thinking, because I'm gonna say missed opportunities a lot here, but this is one of the biggest ones that we currently have. I am not even kidding or trying to make this sound crazier for the sake of this video. I've been looking for a copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, a new copy or a used copy, whatever, to go on sale, because I just want to buy that. Because I know I'm going to have more fun and there is more stuff to do. You know what's funny? I have played a Mario Kart game in the past couple of weeks. And the game is Mario Kart DS, obviously on the DS. I don't even think about Mario Kart World at all. But that's not the only Mario game we've got on the Switch 2. Actually, I'm going to move in reverse real quick. I have some notes here, but I want to go back and talk about, like, I can't remember if this came out first or the Switch 2 edition of Mario Party. What the hell is a new Mario Party game called? Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I had to look it up. That's how forgettable it was. Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition. This is one of the biggest scams I've seen so far as all this Switch 2 edition of Switch games go. I feel like it was a quote-unquote Mario game. We can put Switch 2 edition. Some of these people just got a console. They'll buy it. They won't know the difference. Unfortunately, a lot of us did know the difference, right? So I don't even have much to say about this, except it was not worth the money at all. Even though the Switch 2 edition had like better resolution and maybe better frame rate or whatever, the whole base game didn't. Yep, we're going to track that off as a problem on the Switch 2. But like I was saying before I got sidetracked, I can't remember if that came out first or Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 bundle came out first. Now, this did not get an official Switch 2 edition, but The resolution was better. I think it like automatically unlocked as soon as it goes into your Switch 2. It technically has like a Switch 2 upgrade or whatever. This is cool, right? This is all fine and dandy. And these are some of the greatest games of all time. I think the bundle was a little bit too expensive, but it is what it is. I mean, even though it was technically coming out for Mario's anniversary, what it was really here to do is kind of get some hype and more eyes on the movie, Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I can't fault Nintendo for that, but I mean, it's technically a Switch game, right? So again, it's not a release for the Switch 2. Earlier this month, we got Mario Tennis, and that game truly came out and went. Yes, I think people were overhating the game a little bit. I played it. I've got nothing to say about it, right? The story mode was like 3 hours long. I think the character models look great. I think the gameplay is fine, but it's tennis, and realistically, like, how much can they possibly do with it? And if I'm not mistaken, the sales in Japan were like abysmal for this game. They had no interest in this at all. And you gotta remember, that is Nintendo's first market, right? Obviously, Nintendo sells all over the world, and the games do better in some places than others. But even in Japan, there's just no interest there. Again, this was one of the games that were announced for Mario's 40th anniversary, but it just doesn't move the needle at all. And in some ways, I think this truly moves the needle backwards. So what else do we have on the horizon right now? Well, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder plus Meet Up at Bell Bell Park. And when they first announced this, I was like, okay, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, incredible game. One of the best 2D games of all time. Easily one of the best Mario games of all time. If they're going to do anything to this game, they're definitely going to add some newer, weird and wacky levels, maybe some cooler Wonder Flower power-ups. The possibilities here are actually endless. So I started watching the trailer, and they started focusing on multiplayer a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's kind of cool. It does have a really cool multiplayer gimmick. But eventually we're going to get to these new levels and all this other new stuff. And, yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case at all. Now, I will give them a little bit of room. The day I'm recording this video is the 23rd. Tomorrow they're going to be playing Pokemon Pokopia, as well as Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Switch 2 edition plus Meet Up at Bell Bell Park. It's so much words for these Switch 2 editions, man. I'm actually starting to hate the titles, like really resent them, because it is so much freaking words. Look, what are they going to show us here? More multiplayer, hopefully some new levels. Like, if they do show some new levels, that's going to be cool. But again, I don't think it really moves the needle at all. And then you actually have to sit here and look at the lack of excitement for Super Mario. Like, sure, I get it. The Mario movie is coming out, and maybe some stuff will release after that. But I'm not that optimistic right now. So I think the Mario movie came out in 2023, and I'm looking at a list right here of Mario-related things that released in 2023. We had Super Mario Bros. Wonder, we had WarioWare Move It, and Super Mario RPG Remake, which is a phenomenal remake. And I do feel like once the movie released and some games started to release after, they really went on a run, because going into 2024, we had Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Princess Peach Showtime, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Mario and Luigi Brothership. So once the movie came out, it seems like games were releasing all the time. So, you know, after this movie does come out, and there's all these eyes on the movie, they could start releasing stuff. But with the whole Switch 2 generation, it seems like anything that would actually make logical sense, or things you would normally expect Nintendo to do, they just don't. I don't want to say they don't care, but it just seems like they actually don't care. They're just gonna play it kind of loose. They have the success of the Switch. They can take some risks, but a lot of us bought this console to play certain franchises, right? The Legend of Zelda, you know, we have the 40th anniversary there, and they're kind of being radio silent. Not that happy about that, but I'll give them some time because it kind of overlaps with Mario's anniversary, so maybe in the summer we'll get some announcements. We got a Hyrule Warriors game, we got Switch 2 editions, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but what are we really doing here? You know, I want to play some new Mario, I want to play some new Zelda, and while I do think the next generation of Pokemon will get revealed on Pokemon Day, that's not coming out until November, so it does nothing for us right now. Zelda, you know, they're probably going to postpone some of that to the summertime, release the announcements. So when you're thinking of buying a Nintendo console, what are you going to play? Well, you're probably going to want to play a Mario game, right? And I know maybe we got too accustomed to stuff. Now, I do want to be fair. I know we got Donkey Kong Bonanza, and this was made by the same team as Super Mario Odyssey. And while I think it was one of the greatest games I've ever played, it was fun from start to finish. And it made me really respect other characters like in the Mario universe, like Paulina and Donkey Kong, and just everything about it was such a treat. Sure, I get it, it's in the Mario universe, but it's not a Mario game. Let's try to be a little bit more optimistic here. And believe me, I know I'm going out on a limb here. There's that big rumor that there was going to be a Nintendo Direct the 3rd or 4th week of February. Obviously that's not happening. Now the other part of that rumor was saying if not then, it would be the 1st or 2nd week of March or sometime in March. And 100% without a doubt, when this presentation does happen, the next big 3D Mario game is getting shown off there. Now even if that is true, that could release after the Mario movie. That would make sense to me. But then again, this would be a huge holiday title for Nintendo, so I could see a September release, something like that. So then you're going over a year after the console releases without a new Super Mario game. And I guess the whole point of this video is the lack of Super Mario, or the Mario games we've got, have really gave the Switch 2's generation like a weird fill, you know what I mean? You can go back to every Nintendo console of all time and think about your favorite Mario games from that generation, or what games launched with it, or what games we eventually got. With the Switch 2, it feels like we're never really going to get to that point. And yes, I know it's eventually going to happen, but when you look at a release like Mario Kart World, it really doesn't give you high hopes to see what's going to happen in the future, especially when they could have released DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza. They could have did something for Mario's anniversary. It's like, whoa, all these big things are happening and they're still not adding stuff to this game? Okay, that's not too promising. So as of right now, I really do think there is a Super Mario problem on the Switch 2, and I know how to fix it, but the way Nintendo is moving right now, I just don't think they're going to. If I wasn't talking to the people on the other side of this camera, it would be such a weird and dumbass thing to complain about, like, hey, I like playing video games and there's no video game from this franchise that I really like. But I think you guys understand the point I'm trying to make. With the Switch 2, you would think, let's go. We're going to have some of our favorite franchises again in the biggest ways possible. Super innovative, super fun. And that's just not what we're getting. And maybe other franchises, sure, but with Super Mario, really? Like this many missed opportunities? I don't know. So in the comments below, let me know what you guys are thinking. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, hit a like and subscribe on the way out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter on the way out. And consider becoming a channel member. I would really appreciate that. And you guys know me, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.